If you want any type of tax business, whether that's tax advisory or CPA or in any way, shape or form you help people save taxes, you got a great business on your hand. People hate paying taxes and it's actually a real great tangible offer, right? You're offering reduction of money costs here, right? And you can charge money for that on this side. But the thing is, if you want to succeed in this marketplace, you'll have to stand out. So according to statistics, there are over 130,000 tax advisory CPA businesses in the United States alone. So you'll have to gain an edge with your marketing to stand out from your competition. And in this video, we're going to go over our strategies that we use with our multi-seven-figure tax advisory, tax consultant businesses that have worked wonderfully well for them and that I'm willing to share with you today. We're going to go through them from, beginning to finish, right? Where I think, most people struggle with, that is important at the beginning. And then going down the funnel, what you need to actually succeed to getting to multi-seven-figure as a tax advisor, as a CPA, or as a accounting tax preparer service. So let's talk about the 7 steps to a successful marketing strategy for your tax business. Step number 1, and probably the most important, is the mindset. You have to go into the mindset that you are a business owner. You're no longer a solo tax business entrepreneur, right? You're not going to do everything yourself. You're going to have to spend on advertising. You're going to have to spend on team members so that you can create exponential value, right? Because every good team member, every good advertising campaign is going to get you 5 times, 10 times, 20 times your money back. But if you're trying to do everything yourself, or if you also think that you know everything better, then you're not going to change your situation, right? Because your knowledge and your way of thinking has gotten you so far. Now is the time to learn new inputs, to try new things, and to also invest in yourself and your business. And that really starts by thinking yourself as a business owner, right? You have to become the manager, the chess player of the different chess pieces, rather than I'm doing everything myself, man or woman. Now, the way you can implement that is basically counting all of the tasks that you're doing, right? Like basically writing down all of the tasks, thinking what type of task can you actually outsource to a virtual assistant, which should be absolutely your number 1 hire. There are great virtual assistants for like $5 to $10 an hour out there. What kind of steps can you outsource? Where can you outsource them? And what do you have to absolutely do yourself, right? And normally the highest leverage tasks are going to be sales, creating marketing material, and kind of like doing management instead of doing every little tax detail yourself, every input, every intake. Those are normally the lower input tasks, and you have to outsource those lower value tasks as soon as possible. So step number 2 in your marketing strategy for your tax business in 2024, 2025 and beyond is the offer. Like I said, there are over 130 or, depending on what kind of statistics you're looking for, let's say multiple hundreds of thousands of your competitors out there. You have to stand out. You have to create an offer where people, business owners, are super interested in finding out more, right? Where they can immediately see the tangible value that your business provides, right? You don't sell accounting service, you don't sell tax service, you don't sell, tax preparation or whatever, right? You don't sell Roth conversions or whatever it is. You sell, hey, I'm going to save you X amount in taxes and you're going to pay me Y for that, right? Like that's what you sell. So one offer that is really working amazingly well in the tax space is, hey, business owners, we are going to save you X amount of taxes, and here you would insert the average number of taxes that you save your business owners, or you don't pay, right? That's an immediately great value proposition that every business owner will want to at least inquire about, right? Because if they can save additional amount of taxes to the amount of taxes that they're currently saving, that's going to be a great value proposition for them. Now, you don't always have to say guaranteed, right? You can say like, oh, we will refund you. I know guarantees sometimes legally can be challenged. Normally it's not a problem as far as I understood it from the legal teams that we work with. But sometimes you could say like, hey, we will save you X amount of taxes, or I would personally write you a check, or we will save you X amount of taxes, or I will refund you our fee, right? Like that can be the wording around this, but this is a great offer. Alternatively, if you are not 100% confident that you can actually refund money or that you can actually guarantee a tax saving, let's say like that, you can say, hey, the average tax saving that we do with our process is X amount, right? We've done this for this and this and this and this and this type of client. Inquire to find out if you can save X amount of tax, right? That will be kind of the soft version of the offer, but I would really recommend you go with a aggressive offer and really stand out with that. So next time you do any type of advertising, try out that offer. So step number 3 for a successful marketing strategy for your tax business are the ads. Normally, people worry most about the ads, but I do think the ads are actually the most simple thing to create, right? It's just gonna be you talking about your offer, basic structure. We've done videos about this before. I'm gonna link them on top, but it's gonna be, hey, business owners or hey, high net worth individuals doing, whatever your target audience is, calling out your audience. And then we will save you X amount of taxes, or I will personally write you a check and refund your whole fee. We've done this for Susan over here and for Brandon over here. He had this type of business, Susan had this type of business. We saved her X amount, we've saved him Y amount with our signature, whatever your process is, right? You ideally want to have a mechanism that stands out from everybody else, right? So basically with this, section in tax code, or with this, Roth conversion strategy, or whatever it is. And if you want to know if you can save X amount in taxes, then click the link below and schedule a free consultation with us. That's a very basic structure. Of course, you can go a little bit more detailed and you can go more nuanced, and you can call out different types of pains that your audience feels. But that's basically the structure. Like I said, the link to our direct response ads is on top of this video. But don't worry too much about the ads. It's just about communicating your offer, communicating the opportunity of working with you, and then requesting people to take action by clicking a link, right? That's very simple. No fluff and just straightforward. And once you've got that going, you can try a little bit more complex, nuanced ad strategies. So step number 4 for your successful marketing strategy for your tax business are going to be the landing pages. I like really simple landing pages with just a headline communicating your offer, then a VSL, right? This can be a 2 to 5 minute video of you restating your offer, restating the opportunities, running through 1, 2, 3 case studies, and then requesting people to take action by scheduling below, right? And then below that, you want to have a survey funnel or a form where you can have conditional logic, right? So basically where you can triage people based on, are they qualified or are they not qualified? Normally our clients like to aim for the higher end demographic, right? So people who actually make more money, who are wealthier, where you can have more tax savings. And you want to communicate that back to Facebook. That's why a survey normally with Typeform or Go High Level is going to be ideal here. And step number 5, below that VSL, you want to have a survey, right? You want to have a form, either in Typeform or Go High Level. That's going to be super important because you want to actually qualify people before they can schedule a call with you. You don't want to talk to everybody. You want to talk to the people who are the highest quality demographics, right? So normally our clients prefer the higher net worth demographics, right? Like business owners who earn, like multi 7 figures, maybe even 8 figures, because there's going to be the most tax savings, high net worth individuals and stuff like that, who have, millions in their investment accounts or whatever. And the way you want to set this up is you want to actually send different types of data back to Facebook. 99% of advertisers ignore this step, right? They just say, hey, everybody's a lead. Everybody who fills out a form is a lead. But that's actually not true. You want to discriminate based on the type of answers that people give, right? So walking through a funnel, we can just, first of all, we ask them for their zip code. Then we ask them, what type of business they run, if they're a business owner. And then we want to ask them about, for example, their annual revenue, right? Or their pre-tax revenue, right? Or maybe some other qualifying questions that you could add so that you can actually discriminate them. Because if you just want to work with the higher end demographics, let's say, people doing 250,000, 500,000 and up, there's no point in actually talking to people who make less than that because you're not going to be able to give them the same tax savings. And here you want to use a form, a survey with conditional logic. You want to basically make it impossible for the people that are not qualified to schedule into your calendar. And you want to make it easy for those people who are qualified to immediately schedule into your calendar. And step number 6, and that's super important, is having content for the sales process. I think a lot of people get content wrong, right? For example, this type of video. Yes, I'm making this because I want to educate, and put it out on YouTube and maybe you get a couple leads. But this is going to be way more important for the people who actually are already coming into my funnel via advertisement or any other type of outreach method than it is for the people who just search on YouTube. Because we need content for the sales process to keep people engaged, to pre-sell them and pre-frame them. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do all of that inside of the call and you're gonna be, struggling because you're gonna basically have to explain your whole method and then trying to sell them rather than already having explained the method and kind of like dial in little questions. So you want to focus on frequently asked questions. What are the questions where you can make videos about, where you can write emails or blog posts that you can send to prospects prior to the calls that they have with you? What are the case studies, right? Case studies are super important. You want to send a couple case studies. You don't need to send 20. You can send 2, 3 that are similar to the people that you've already worked with, right? What are the objections that people normally have, right? Like what kind of like are they saying, I don't think this is worth my money. Oh, I don't know if I have the time to implement this, right? Like, I don't know if I want to send over all my material. Like all of these objections, you want to make videos or you want to write emails or you want to write blog posts actually tackling those objections. And then maybe what type of fears do they have? What kind of myths are there? Or, maybe you even need to create demand before they actually, maybe they don't even know that they have this problem, right? Like sometimes maybe you finding out, hey, you actually have a tax problem here that you don't even know about. So all of these topics are videos, blog posts, articles, and emails that you can write or that you should write and that you should send to your prospects prior to them actually speaking to you. This will keep them engaged over the wait period because normally they cannot just schedule with you every day because you're probably busy. And 2, it's going to actually do most of the selling for you. So a great way of actually knowing what type of questions and what type of objections you normally get is to just transcribe your sales calls or your phone calls that you have with prospects and just feed them into an AI like ChatGPT and have them analyze, right? If you feed in 100 calls, it's going to give you very, very good statistical data on what type of videos or what type of articles and emails you should write to handle these types of objections and questions. And then you also want to produce what we call positive propaganda videos, right? So that's basically teaching them how to think, planting seeds in their head, right? Like basically, for example, with tax, it's very easy, right? Like we see what our government are spending our tax money on, right? Like we can talk about, hey, this is what, last year your government spent this amount with your tax dollars. Or, hey, actually, the biggest killer of wealth is not, for example, spending a lot on things that are not important, right? Like cars and clothes is actually taxes because that's, pre-tax money. That's a huge amount of savings that you can have here. And like all of these little seeds that you want to implant in your prospect so that they think about, yeah, that's actually true. I don't want to pay any tax, so I want to pay way less, so that they come in with the right framing into your sales calls, right? We call that framing content, positive propaganda, call it what you want. So last but not least, step number 7 of a dialed in marketing strategy for tax businesses in 2024, 2025 and beyond is going to be a dialed in sales process. I know that's normally not the point of marketing, right? But like any marketing strategy you have goes out the window if your people don't know how to sell, right? Or if you don't know how to sell. So I would really recommend whoever is doing the selling with you, there is so much free content on YouTube about sales. I would watch at least one video a week or one video a day to just get better in sales, right? Like, because everything that's below 30% close rate is going to be unacceptable, right? That KPI has to be, unless you're selling, I don't know, a multi-million-dollar product, but like in that normal range of, 10 to 50 to 100K, you want to have a 30% close rate, right? Everything else is just going to bleed you money, right? You're going to think your advertising is not working, your marketing not working, the leads are not qualified, they're not ready to buy. Like you have to be ready to sell them. You have to become a master salesman. I've talked about this many, many times because either you have to hire master salesmen, that means you have to understand selling. It's probably the highest dollar per hour activity, right? Like any good salesperson that you have, you're going to pay them 20%, right? So if you pay somebody 20% of, I don't know, $20,000 or something like that, you're going to pay $4,000 for, 2 hours, right? So I would keep it to myself. I would actually, I'm doing it, right? I'm selling myself at the moment still because I do think it's one of the highest dollar per hour activities. It's also important for you that if you want to hire it out, you have to know what you're doing. You have to have a sales process that's dialed in. And also I do think it's a great way to learn interpersonal skills, right? You learn a lot about human being, about human psychology, about talking to people, and about everything else. So I do believe that if you don't have a sales process, if your sales are, crap, then no marketing strategy in the world is actually going to make you money. Now, if you're a tax business that's doing multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures, and you want to get to that multiple 7 figures a year mark, and you need our help with those 7 steps, right? Like we help our clients implement all of these 7 steps. We do them for them as much as we can. then click the link below and book a free 20-minute call with our team. And also, if you like this video and you want a written summary, I've attached a document below so you can actually download it and have it in a written form, and you can actually communicate it to your team or strategize about how you can make each of these 7 steps better. That's it for me. See you in the next video.